Hey Mike, I've been thinking a lot about my future lately, and honestly, I feel like I'm stuck in a rut. I want to be financially free, but I have no idea where to start. Can you help me out?
I totally understand where you're coming from, John. Financial freedom is something a lot of people strive for, but it can feel overwhelming at first. The good news is that it's definitely achievable with the right mindset and strategies. So, let's break it down. What does financial freedom mean to you?
For me, it's about not having to worry about money all the time. I want to be able to pay my bills, save for the future, and still have money left over to enjoy life. I don't want to be tied to a job I hate just because I need the paycheck.
Financial freedom is really about having control over your finances rather than letting them control you. It's not just about having a lot of money, but having enough to live the life you want without stress. The first step is getting a clear picture of where you stand right now. Do you have a budget?
I've tried budgeting before, but I always fall off track. It's hard to stick to it, especially when unexpected expenses come up. Plus, I don't make a lot of money, so it feels like there's not much to budget in the first place.
I hear you. Budgeting can be tough, especially if you feel like you're just scraping by. But it's an essential tool for financial freedom. Even if your income is small, knowing exactly where your money is going is the foundation for making better financial decisions. Let's start with tracking your expenses for a month. Write down everything you spend, no matter how small. This will help you see where your money is really going and identify areas where you might be able to cut back.
I think I spend more than I realize on little things, like eating out or buying coffee every day. If I cut back on those, I might be able to save more.
Exactly. Those small purchases can add up over time. But don't just focus on cutting back. Also look for ways to increase your income. Are there any opportunities for you to earn more money, either through your current job or by starting a side hustle?
I've thought about asking for a raise, but I'm not sure how to go about it. I've also considered getting a part-time job or freelancing, but I'm not sure what I could do that would actually make a difference.
Asking for a raise can be intimidating, but it's worth pursuing if you feel you're being underpaid. Do some research to find out what others in your position are earning and build a case for why you deserve a raise. Highlight your contributions to the company and how you've added value. As for side hustles, think about your skills and interests. There are tons of opportunities out there, from freelancing online to starting a small business. The key is to find something you enjoy that also pays well.
I've got some skills in graphic design, and I've done a few projects for friends, but I'm not sure how to turn that into something more consistent.
Graphic design is a valuable skill that's in high demand. You could start by creating a portfolio of your work and setting up profiles on freelancing platforms like Upwork or Fiverr. You might also consider reaching out to local businesses or startups that could use your services. Over time, as you build your portfolio and client base, you could start charging more and even turn it into a full-time business if that's something you're interested in.
I'll need to put in some effort to get started, but if it could help me earn more, it's worth it. What about saving and investing? I've heard those are important for financial freedom, but I'm not sure where to start.
Saving and investing are definitely key components of financial freedom. The first thing you want to do is build an emergency fund. This is a savings account with enough money to cover 3 to 6 months of living expenses. It's your safety net for unexpected expenses like car repairs or medical bills. Once you have that in place, you can start thinking about investing.
How much should I aim to save each month for my emergency fund? And where should I keep that money?
A good rule of thumb is to aim to save at least 10 to 20% of your income each month. If that's too much right now, start with what you can and gradually increase it as your income grows or your expenses decrease. Keep your emergency fund in a high-yield savings account, so it's easily accessible but still earning some interest. You want to avoid putting this money in the stock market or other risky investments because you need it to be there when you need it.
What about investing? I've heard people talk about the stock market, but it seems risky, especially since I don't know much about it.
Investing can seem intimidating at first, but it's one of the best ways to build wealth over time. The key is to start with a strategy that matches your risk tolerance and time horizon. If you're just getting started, consider investing in low-cost index funds or exchange-traded funds, ETFs. These are diversified investments that track the performance of a broad market index, like the S&P 500, which reduces your risk compared to investing in individual stocks.
How do I know how much to invest and when to start?
The sooner you start, the better. Thanks to the power of compound interest, your money will grow faster the longer it's invested. As for how much to invest, it's a good idea to start small and gradually increase your contributions as you become more comfortable. A common strategy is to invest a percentage of your income, like 10 to 15%, in a diversified portfolio. If your employer offers a 401k or similar retirement plan, that's a great place to start, especially if they match your contributions. Take advantage of that free money.
I do have a 401k through work, but I've only been contributing a small amount because I didn't think it would make much difference. I guess I should start putting in more, especially if they're matching it.
Absolutely. Contributing to your 401k is one of the easiest ways to build wealth over time, especially if your employer matches your contributions. That's essentially free money that you don't want to leave on the table. Plus, contributions to a 401k are tax-deferred, which means you're lowering your taxable income now while saving for the future. It's a win-win.
What about other types of investments? I've heard people talk about real estate, but that seems like a big commitment.
Real estate can be a great investment, but it's definitely more hands-on and requires more capital upfront compared to investing in the stock market. If you're interested in real estate, one option is to start small, like with a rental property or even a real estate investment trust, REIT, which allows you to invest in real estate without having to buy and manage a property yourself. REITs are traded on the stock market like regular stocks, so they're easier to buy and sell.
I hadn't thought about REITs before. That sounds like a more manageable way to get into real estate. What are some other ways to grow my wealth?
There are a few other strategies you can consider. One is paying down debt, especially high-interest debt like credit cards. The interest on those balances can eat away at your finances, so paying them off as quickly as possible will free up more money for saving and investing. Another strategy is to continuously educate yourself about personal finance and investing. The more you learn, the better decisions you'll be able to make. Books, podcasts, and online courses are great resources.
I do have some credit card debt that's been stressing me out. I've been paying the minimum balance, but it feels like I'm not making any progress.
Credit card debt can be a big obstacle to financial freedom, but it's something you can overcome with a plan. Start by making a list of all your debts, including the balances and interest rates. Then, focus on paying off the debt with the highest interest rate first while continuing to make minimum payments on your other debts. This is called the avalanche method. If you find it too overwhelming, you can try the snowball method, where you pay off the smallest debt first to build momentum.
I think the avalanche method makes sense for me. I'll start working on that. What about things like insurance? I've heard it's important, but I'm not sure what kind I need.
Insurance is definitely an important part of financial planning. It helps protect you and your assets from unexpected events that could derail your financial progress. At a minimum, you should have health insurance, auto insurance if you own a car, and renters or homeowners insurance to protect your belongings. If you have people who depend on your income, like a spouse or children, you should also consider life insurance. Term life insurance is generally the most affordable option and provides coverage for a specific period, like 20 or 30 years.
I have health and auto insurance, but I haven't thought much about renter's insurance or life insurance. I guess those are things I should look into.
Definitely. Renter's insurance is usually very affordable and can give you peace of mind knowing that your belongings are protected. Life insurance is a bit more personal, but if you have dependents, it's something to consider. It ensures that your loved ones are taken care of financially if something happens to you.
Mike, it's a lot to take in, but I feel like I have a better understanding of what I need to do to start working towards financial freedom.